Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Eddie Medellin. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you a tag. It's called the channel reintroduction by originally Coyote Tarot, I believe. At least that's who I saw doing it first. Okay guys, so I suggest that you guys get a cup of tea or your drink of preference, because this is going to be a long one. There's a lot of prompts and I have props too. So here we go. Let's see. It's broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of questions. I have my notes with me as always, guys. And this time I'm going to make sure to mark the ones that I've done so that what happened with the last video doesn't happen with this one. But okay, so it says the basics. Where are you from? I'm from Costa Rica, from a small town called Grecia, that sits right next to one of the biggest volcanoes in Central America. And yeah, so I guess that answers that. I'm Costa Rican. Shout out to all of my Costa Ricans out there. Pura vida, ticos. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. How did you come up with your YouTube name? This was not hard at all. When I wanted to create my YouTube channel, I wanted it to be related to reading and also Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. If you have watched any of my videos where I bring up Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is probably all of them at this point, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is my favorite book, and I just wanted it to be called Eddie in Reading Land for various reasons. I like reading books and I like reading tarot cards, but I also like reading people, as most queer people do. But so that's how I came up with it. My favorite character from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is the Cheshire Cat, so that's why the logo for my channel is that Cheshire Cat. And I just love it. I love how the Cheshire Cat grins and he's just mad. He's just odd. And I love him. I love him. So that's how I came up with my channel name, Eddie in Reading Land. Let's see. How long have you been reading tarot? I started reading tarot when I was 8 years old and my grandmother started teaching me. I actually talk about this on my first video that I have ever made, which, by the way, this is my 100th video, guys. But yeah. My grandmother started teaching me tarot with a regular pack of cards. Actually, I later saw the Marseille deck, but that's irrelevant at this point. Yes, so I was 8 years old when I started reading tarot. How did you get into reading tarot and oracle? My grandmother started teaching me. So I actually just answered this question with the other one. But, so for how long? Oh my God, I'm 37, so I can't do the math, guys. It's probably more than 20 years at this point. But I did start reading for others when I was 14 years old, and I actually started reading for Gain when I was 21 years old. And I was already on my second or third year in university, and it actually helped me a lot with my degree. That's how I got a lot of extra money that I made, was doing tarot and performing readings for others. Do you read for others? Yes, I do read for others. Right now, I don't read for others a lot. Basically, just me and some friends. I actually do enjoy reading for others. I used to read more when I was working at Bookman's, and I used to read for 2 hours straight for others in Bookman's at least once a month, and I loved doing that. That was so cool, getting to interact with others. And actually, my husband joined me once or twice doing those readings. But yeah, I do really much enjoy reading for others. I would prefer reading for others the way that I used to do when I was back in university, which is one-on-one. And without any interruptions, and I like having a conversation. But to answer the question again, yes, I do read for others. I do enjoy doing that. Okay, so then it goes back, actually goes to decks, and it says, do you use Oracle with Tarot? I do. I do use Oracle with Tarot, mostly when I'm doing seasonal readings, like for example, when I'm doing my Samhain reading, or once I get to do my Yule reading, I will use Oracle and Tarot. I do like that. I usually don't use Oracle with Tarot when I'm reading for others. I usually use one or the other. I don't like combining them when I'm doing a reading for others. I am uncertain why, now that I think about it. That's something that I'll probably need to explore for myself. But yes, so I do use Oracle with Tarot. Let's see. Then it goes to, how many decks do you have? So I do keep an Excel spreadsheet with all of the decks that I have. And it appears that I have 52 decks as of today. I usually don't have or don't welcome a lot of decks into my collection because I'm very picky with the decks that I bring in. But yes, 52 is the number of decks that I own right now. Okay, next prompt. Where do you store your decks? This is an excellent question. I do store my decks in the original packaging that they came in. That's how I prefer to store my decks, and I actually have room in my bookshelf right next to my bed. Instead of what are they, nightstands, we have bookshelves. We're such book nerds. But I do keep about 2 or 3 shelves now with my tarot in there, but they are in their original packaging. I do my best to take care of it. Even if it's the carton box, I still do my very best to try to keep it as best not falling apart as I can. It's really difficult because sometimes those boxes are really frail. Actually, a fun fact, the original TarotTube, my original TarotTube that I started with reading, does not have the box because it just completely disintegrated, and I keep it in a special bag. I didn't bring it in. I have other props that I could have I could have brought it, but anyway, yes. So I do keep them in their original boxes. I do prefer when tarot come in tot boxes. That is my preferred store, or actually, what is it? I prefer storage for my tarot. But yeah, moving on. Let's see. What do you look for in a deck? Okay, so I do have 4 different prompts that I look for in a deck. I have to like the art. The art needs to be colorful, and if it's not colorful, I'm not attracted to that tarot. There are exceptions, like for example the Tarot of the Abyss and the Black Tarot and other tarot that I have that are quite doesn't fit that criteria. I do like fantasy-based tarot, so tarot where I can see magic is being performed in the depiction of the card, or there are magical creatures. Fantasy is very important to me. One of my favorite genres is fantasy, especially also science fiction. That's primarily my novel reads, and so science fiction, actually fantasy, is quite important when it comes to tarot. The tarot needs to have an elegant aesthetic, and by this I mean the people or what's being depicted in the cards need to be quite polished. They need to be I like elongated features. It doesn't matter if they're animals or people. I love that that brings a subtle elegance and finesse to the art. I love that. And finally, the deck needs to be in the original tarot structure. There are exceptions to this, but I am happy with the structure of tarot as per the Golden Dawn, and that is what I tend to look for in decks. I don't mind if they change the names of some of the cards. It depends on what names they do, but yes, that's what I'm looking for index. Now, saying this, I have become quite less rigid on these points, especially with new tarot that I'm bringing in. I seem to be veering into minimalist or convoluted sort of decks, which is fascinating to me because I usually don't like decks with a lot of a lot of use of shapes or or symbolism that is just clumped in the card. But I seem to be getting into that, and I'm allowing myself to bring more of these into the collection. Again, it's very picky, but I'm doing my best to be a little bit more mutable with what I bring into my collection. But it's not working, guys. It's so not working. Okay, let's see. How would you describe your deck collection? With one word, eclectic. It's so weird. I know that I'm one of those few people on YouTube, and TarotTube actually, that have decks that are not usually shown on videos. We see I see at least the people that I follow and the very popular people in TarotTube that have the same decks, and some of those decks I actually don't like and do not have. But yeah, I do have the quite the different sort of collection from other people. That's just what I look for. I mean, maybe I should do a deck with all of my a video with all my decks, but it's just gonna take so much time, and I probably won't do it. Okay, so moving on. Do you have a go-to tarot and oracle deck? I do. I do have a go-to tarot. That is the Shadowscapes Tarot. Let's go to the down camera so you guys can see some of the images. Shadowscapes Tarot. Here we go. You guys know this is my favorite deck. There is absolutely no other deck out there that I like best. It's a great reader. This fits the criteria, the 4 main criteria that I have for decks. This is my best friend tarot. I love this deck. This is, if I could only keep one tarot deck, this would be it. I hope that I never get to make that choice, but yeah, this is the tarot that I would use. I love it. Stephanie Puimula did an excellent job with all of the depictions on this card, with the exception, of course, of the strength card, which is not. It's not that it's a bad card. It's a beautiful card, but it's just not quite there. That's the only card. And the oracle. My one oracle would be the Cloud cards by Clamp, which are actually not an oracle deck. They are a collection of cards from an anime that I love, but I do use them for divination. They are extremely beautiful, and this brings not only nostalgia to me, but it also brings out my creativity and my artist self is incredibly inspired by these. And yeah, I will never get rid of this. This would be the one oracle deck that I will, if I had to choose one, this would be it. The Cloud cards by Clamp. There's a whole, I need to make a video for these and explain everything that happens, but, well, not everything, because then it would be like a 2-hour or longer video, but yeah. Oh, why is the shield upside down? That's weird. There we go. Leave you with the jump card. Okay, so moving on. Do you rehome decks? If so, what determines if it leaves your collection? Yes, I do rehome decks. I have made purchases in the past where I felt like I was going to love the art and felt that I was going to be able to work with that tarot, and that was definitely a mistake. um, Two very good examples of this would be the Polina Tarot, which, by the way, has beautiful depictions of some of the cards. But unfortunately, there are some other cards in the Polina Tarot that I just don't like. It's a very convoluted, and the image seems cramped, and it's basically the Where is Waldo of tarot decks. And I just I couldn't work with it for a very long time, which is quite sad, because that deck actually has my favorite depiction of the Judgment card ever. There is no more perfect card for Judgment than that, and even with the tarot that I own and the Judgment cards that I have made, it's that Judgment card, it's just amazing. But as in any case, the other example would be the Tarot of Vampires. The art in that is beautiful, but the theme of vampires and the romance and actually, I would say that's dark romance. The dark romance aspect of that deck, it was just not for me. I actually still have it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, because I know that it's out of print. Maybe I should sell it, because I'm not gonna use it at all. Who knows? But yes, I do rehome collect, and what specifically determines that it leave my collection, that I'm unable to work with it. I am not going to keep decks that I'm not going to be able to work with. It's just I don't like having things that I'm not going to reuse. The same thing happens with books. I'm a super bookworm. I average about 150 books a year. Not this year. I think I already made it to 100 in my Goodreads. I have it in my link down below if you want to see. But I actually don't keep all of the books that I read. I wouldn't be able to. Our house would be inundated with books all over. I only keep the books from my favorite authors, and I only keep books that I know I'm going to reread, or that I'm going to consult for something. Like, for example, some tarot books I keep because I'm going to consult them. But even tarot books or even novels that I like and I've loved and I've given them really good reviews on Goodreads, I'll just pass it along. I just move it along. So yeah, if I'm not able to work with it, or if I don't want to work with it anymore, I will rehome those decks. Okay, so moving on to my practice. And these are, it's just 2 questions. Let's see. What does your tarot practice look like? Daily, locations, tools you use, when do you turn to your cards for? Okay, so my tarot practice looks like daily draws, and I do mean daily. I take, well, actually more than a couple of minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, just depends. But I do take a daily card, usually from tarot. I also do use Oracle every day, and I write about it. It depends how much I write. It depends on the deck. It depends on the card that I'm getting. Actually, the last time, one of these days past, I got the 3 of Swords reversed, and I completely went, like, I short circuited, because I never get the 3 of Swords, let alone the 3 of Swords reversed in my personal practice. And I actually looked on my journal, and I was like, wow, I have not received or I have not pulled the 3 of Swords this year at all. And I pulled it I think about 3 days ago, and I just short circuited, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, I need to take a step back and remember, go into my subconscious and take the information that I have from the 3 of Swords. And it was a Rider-Waite Smith deck, so Um, yeah, I mean, that's how precise my practice is, that I can actually go back and check what cards I got during the year. So you guys, I keep a schedule, and I have a routine, and I do it every single day. I know that it's probably really hard and for people to understand and probably follow our routine like I do, because I'm very strict. I know that I'm probably extremist on how my schedule works, but yeah. So daily draws, and I do consult the tarot from time to time when I feel like I need to do that. Um, it's very seldom when I turn to tarot um, to help me work on my emotions or help define a problem specifically, because I have other processes for that I use, but I have done it. I have done it. But yes, daily practice every day. I do it every day, guys. Every day, in the morning, when I'm actually, my husband is there with me too. But yes, so that's how what my practice look like. What does a typical tarot reading look like with or for you? Okay, so um, there's a common thread in readings for others from me, and one of them is that I interact with my client. I make it a conversation. I That needs to happen when I'm doing readings for others, because it, the reading, I am interpreting the cards, but a reading is for the client, and that person also needs to give me feedback about what the information from me that they're receiving. I like that. So a reading for me is a conversation. A reading for me is also a I start flipping the cards one by one and explaining what the card means, and then when I have all of the cards flipped right side up, then I start interpreting the whole picture, or what I'm seeing with those cards combined. Why do I do that? Because again, that starts a conversation. When you start telling people what the card means and how it resonates with them or for them, um, I also would like that input. So that usually with me as well, it depends on the tarot that I'm using, but they're not very long spreads. I usually um, use 3 cards or up to 5 if I feel like I need that, or we need that. Um, that being said, it depends on the tarot, because I know that there are tarot that I work with that like to have um, more cards in the spread, so I will do that. It's very rare, because usually when I'm reading for others, I will use the Shadowscapes tarot, and the Shadowscapes tarot doesn't like more than 5 cards at a time. So usually with 3 cards, I can provide a lot of information, even if the client does have other questions or follow-up questions. I can pretty much determine the answer using those 3 cards. Again, it just depends um, on the person. It depends also on the tarot that I'm using. And it also depends on the situation. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's normally what it looks like with me. Okay, so that's for my practice. And then for YouTube or TarotTube, let's see. What kind of content is your favorite to post and watch? Okay, well, these are 2 different sort of questions, but they do. Okay, I see why it goes together. I love posting videos on my favorite depictions or representations of the cards. Why? Because I love symbology. I love to learn about people's meaning of symbols. I think that's why the reason why I love tarot so much. So that's why I have my series of my favorite depictions of each of the cards. And I give you 5 of those cards, and I explain why. And I go over the symbolism, why it's important to me, and what it means to me. I'm not telling you what the card means. I'm telling you what those symbols mean to me, or how they resonate with me, and why I associate them with those sort of symbols or themes that I love, which is unfortunately very rare when I get to watch those sorts of videos. But yes, I love posting that, and I love watching those sorts of videos when people talk about the art and how it's resonating with them and why they feel that it goes with the specific card. I love that, and I also, very cliche, I love watching videos of flip throughs of new decks that people acquire. I love that. I probably, because of the same reason, they are talking about the cards and what they like about them. How are they relating it to what the card means specifically for them? And sometimes you can catch some talk on symbolism as well when you see the flip throughs. I would love to see more of these, honestly, but that's my favorite content to post and to watch are those. How did you get into creating a YouTube channel? I created a YouTube channel specifically because there were not a lot of people out there that were showing their favorite depictions of the cards from the decks that they had. And that's one of the reasons why I actually still do these videos, because I want to show what my favorite depictions of those cards are, and let you know why I relate them to the card, why the symbolism is important, and what the symbolism specifically means to me. I'm not saying that what I am imparting is correct or that is the norm, but I am letting you know what I associate with them, and just trying to give you another layer for your reading. That's what I want. That's why I started my YouTube channel. And honestly, I started the YouTube channel because also there's a lot of people in TarotTube that are not very good with the structure of tarot, and that was concerning to me. Not that I've made any videos on the structure of tarot myself, but I will at one point. It's just that I'm there's a whole thing that I'm doing right now with my favorite depictions and also the daily draws, and it'll be soon. I'll get there, guys. I'll get there. But also, I got into creating a YouTube channel because I just thought it would be fun too. So yeah. And let's see, the last question. Knowing what you know about YouTube or TarotTube, is there anything you would do differently? Well, aesthetically, once the library is done in our house, I would love to switch where I do videos, but I love this painting, and this is where I do it right now. I don't know that I would do anything differently. I have changed the way I present my videos or do my videos slowly. I've noticed, and I know that it's better for me to express what I mean or what I'm thinking as as the videos go on. So that's different, but I don't know that I would do something specifically different. Would I change something from TarotTube? Yes, I would like more people to do videos on symbology of the tarot. Let me know what you guys think of the symbols in the tarot or in tarot. I would love that. I would love more information about that. Again, it's because it'll add more layers to how I read the cards, and that's my hope, to add more layers to you guys to how to interpret the cards. But yes, okay, so that is the tag, guys. The channel reintroduction. I love doing this, especially I love doing this for my 100th episode. That was fun. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you thought about any of the things that I said. maybe, and let me know if you have actually done this tag so that I can watch it, because I'm very curious. I have watched so many videos of this tag, and and there's so much fun, and I love hearing about it, how people are answering these prompts. But thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Bye, YouTube. Channel reintroduction by Coyote Tarot. I think this is my 100 video, right?
Video.
Good thing that didn't happen. It's recording right now, yeah. That tea is spicy hot.